somebody in the Twitch chat, Helmuth's father said, Bart, what adjustments would you make in an ante game versus a traditional 5-10 no limit? Well, specifically with this lineup, seems like people are playing really wide. When you look at it in theory, because it's an ante game and it's 5-5 with a $50 ante, the open size should be probably like the equivalent to having, you know, $60 in dead money, which is like a 20-40 game. It should be open to like, you know, 120. So obviously in the blinds, you're not getting a price.
75.
So you can attack from late position a lot of the dead money, and also sometimes overlimp with hands that wouldn't normally be played in a non-ante game because you're getting such a price. Raise it up here by Roy to 75. Ace-9 off under the gun. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-way action here.
What's up, Enrique?
7 pairs.
7-way action. Ace-9, 4 with a couple clubs. Francisco with a flush draw here. Roy with top 2 as the preflop raiser. Nick with a lower flush draw and a gutter to a 3. Oh, this is interesting here. And Big John also has top 2. So 2 top 2s, Francisco with a flush draw, Nick with a bottom end sort of combo draw. Cy has overcalled with pocket 3s. And Nick looks like he's going to check raise his combo draw. Big pot here, it looks like. Yep, there it is. 5 deuce of clubs, 7 6 of clubs, and 2 ace-9s on ace-9 4 here. And Roy and Nick are deep. I mean, Nick has the table covered. Roy has 16,000. Obviously, Nick could have all combinations of pocket 4s. He could also have a lesser 2 pair. Roy is going to call, and is John going to back jam now? Because John was slow playing flop, right? You imagine he's going to back jam all in, and there it is.
2, 3.
Bet, call, call, check raise, call, back jam here by Big John. Francisco gets rid of the 7 6 of clubs.
39. Damn, I never had this much. Want to take it back?
39.90.
And this will open the raising back up. It is enough if it's 100% of the raise size, which it is. John has raised 2,400 more. And for Nick, you know, this is a spot where, I mean, you don't really want to necessarily drive somebody else out unless you think Roy has the nut flush draw. But he moves all in too. I guess he's trying to drive out maybe a higher flush draw. You know, if he gets it all in with John and John has a higher flush draw, Nick's in big trouble. All in for a huge raise here. Remember, these guys are deep. 4,000 and now an all in for another for 14,000 total, so it's about 10,000 to call.
Take your time. Take your time.
Or it's all of what Roy has in front of him. Actually, it's a little bit more than that.
I'm not supposed to help you, but if you just call and muck, that's perfect.
Do you want me next time? Yeah.
Roy has 16,000 in front of him, so it is another 14,700 to call. Let's do a little math here. 1,632, 72. Was it about 23,000, 14,000 to call? The pot size is not right because it takes into account Nick's all in. 4, 8, 10. Yeah, it's about 23 or 24,000. You know, just a hair under 15,000 to call. Again, you lose to pocket 4s. He doesn't really have pocket aces ever here. One combo of pocket 9s. Would he ever do this with ace 4? But you do have John back raising behind you too, which is a really strong play because that's usually indicative that John's got a really strong hand when he back raises. Again, it was a bet. A few people called. Nick made it 1,600. Call. John back raised to 4,000. And now Nick is all in for another just under 15,000. He makes the call. So here we go 3 ways. Turn is a 5. That gives Nick some additional outs, and the river's a 6. And Roy and John are going to chop the main pot, and Roy is going to win everything extra on the side. 4,000 each in the main, and Roy's got another 14,000 on the side, so he's going to win a huge one on the side here. He's going to win $2,000 from the main pot.
If you have ace-4, you hit the 4.
He's winning 2,000, not counting his money, and another 14,700 on the side.
No club. Everything is here. The main pot chop between Roy and... What? Oh, 5K.
And again, Roy's winning basically half of 4,000 from Nick. They're going to chop it between him and John, plus whatever was dead out there too. There were some extra calls, maybe 2,500, plus another 14,700. He's going to net, I would say, maybe 15,200 to 15,500 here.
Chop and lose.
11. You almost fold, Roy? 4. 11. 4, 11. 5. So 11,000. Yes, 600. 11,660. 11,660. Correct.
And it's actually only 11,660. And that's because the 4,000, I guess, wasn't accounted in the main pot. So it's 11. He wins 11,000. 11,660 on the side, and then he probably wins about 2,500 in the main.
Yeah.
So he nets about 13,000 there from that hand.
Well, I need to bring more money because the game is crazy now, right?
5 hits, he wins.
Okay.
3 comes, he wins. Club comes, he wins.
This game out of my hands.
Some more bullets.
And Roy's been on a tear on this show.
The only reason I will snap call, Roy, why I will snap call? I will snap call when.
I don't know, Roy, you waste
with
all
a
our
hand.
goddamn
You know
time
why?
for no
You know
reason.
why?
Wait to come back from short
Roy, you know
stack
why?
again.
After everybody bet 200, he raised to 1,800.
That's correct, 59.
So if he has a set, he don't bet that much.
Yeah, I checked like 10,000.
If he,
I don't want to.
if he,
Oh, yeah, especially on
if he have a set, he don't bet 200 to 1,800. Come on.
Yeah, this is more than.
Why not? There was a flush draw, straight draw. There was a lot of hands. A lot of fans in there, yeah.
No,
Well,
200 to 1,800. Come on.
Well, 200, like 6, 5 players.
I don't know anything, but I
I-
will snap
listen.
call with that hand.
5 players called.
Roy, where was your ace-4 right there?
So you could play the same way. Just said you would play the same way.
Think about it.
I was going to say 7.
To him,
Come on.
the way he plays.
Too big a pot.
trying to listen in here to Francisco. If you want to subscribe now to Live at the Bike, of course you can.
Do an ace-4. Ace-4, I don't call with ace-4.
$19.99 a month gets you all the action we've ever done. And if you're new, you can use the
No, you do right.
promo code POKER for the first week free. So Roy up over 15,000 now.